It is indeed a good morning. It is a Thursday, and I said earlier on that today we have a special guest. And if you have, today is that day where you get to ask all the questions that you might want to have for our guest today. Our number is 0700917917. Before we introduce our guest to you, we want to know where you are, where you're listening to us from. Our social media is at Swahili Ports FM on Facebook, X, and Instagram. And remember, we are streaming live on www.swahiliportsfm.co.ke.
Kalu da Costico Kid kutoka Likoni pale Mwango Josephat, alafu kuna Emiliana Tumatic Mohachai pia kutoka Likoni, Kifusi Kazungu kutoka Kaloleni, Dorcas Pendo, Abdalla Mvuria, Omar Kausha, alafu kuna Kasena Iha Ali da Zombo Boy, Yeri Oscar kutoka Likoni, Deloya Samuel kutoka Lutangani pale, Masha Yusuf kutoka Kisauni, Richard Patrick anasema atusikiliza hapo, lakini Mwaushanga Willy, alafu kuna Manjefa, kuna Samira Amri, alafu kuna Simon Ngala, Robert Kaptoko asante sana my brother, Emmanuel Kiraga, alafu kuna Senior Salox na Man Hassan, Gladys Pendo, Emmanuel Lwembe na Sauma Ashura kutoka Nyali. Wote hawa wanategea pamoja na rafiki yako Hamisi kutoka Barracks.
Asanteni sana. Thank you so much for listening to us. Now in studio today we host a man who made history in Kenya's judiciary. That is the 14th Chief Justice, remembered for his bold stand in nullifying the 2017 presidential election. That is Chief Justice Emeritus David Mararga. He is now stepping into a new chapter, declaring his ambition to run for the presidency in 2027. He is also set to launch his #ballot revolution right here. I believe he's going to do it in Mombasa. And he's calling on millions of young people to register to vote. This morning, we sit down with him to talk about his vision for Kenya, from jobs for the youth to fixing the economy to how his leadership would be different. Justice Mararga, welcome to the station and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Miriam, for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Now, most Kenyans know you as a former Chief Justice, a man who once nullified the presidential election. Why have you now chosen to enter active politics and you're now seeking the presidency in 2027?
Yes, it's a long story, but the long and short of it is that when you look at what is going on in the country, the country is headed for very bad times. Why? Because corruption has reached the highest level it has ever been in this country, in my view. There's law and order is breaking down. I mean, those in authority don't want to obey the law because they are in authority. I mean, court orders are served on them and they just disregard them. They stand up on public platforms and they say, this one we are not going to comply with it, simply because it is restraining them. So I am seeking to come to the political scene to work with the other Kenyans to bring back our country to where it should be, to order, to bring the country back to order, because we are actually becoming lawless. And that's what I want. If you look at what is happening with corruption, is there anything that is working? You have so many, people going to hospitals. There are no drugs. Yeah. Young people are not going to school because there is no capitation, and this is not because we don't have money. The irony of it is that you see schools closing down, but teachers are invited to State House and given handouts. A country where, the president is dishing out 100 million shillings in a day, and you have no capitation for schools. Yeah. What are you talking about? It's total chaos. Yeah.
Okay, you've said you would bring the country back to order, and during your interview on NTV, you also say that given a chance, you would actually like to call the country back to order. How do you intend to do that?
Call the country back to order. We have one of the best constitutions in the world. All that we need to do is to implement that constitution, and everybody will be happy. Because if you are talking about implementing the constitution, you are talking about, healthcare is provided for under the constitution. Education is provided for under the constitution. Law and order is there. So, I mean, by asking us to implement the constitution, we are just saying, look, let us do what we have aspired to do. Remember, we repealed the old constitution because it didn't have enough provisions, provisions to deal with the things like the Bill of Rights and very many other things. And as I said, it's one of the best constitutions in the world. All that has failed is implementation. Those who come to authority cherry pick. They want to implement what will enable them to steal, first and foremost. Secondly, and what is palatable to them. What they are required to do, if it is not going to assist them personally, they just shove it aside. Yeah.
We have seen different presidents. And when we talk about our constitution, we've also seen an instance where when different leaders come to power, then the constitution is not respected, right? During your tenure as a Chief Justice, how did you ensure that this is upheld?
You have already mentioned the 2017 presidential petition. The law required, or still requires, that elections should be held transparently. If it is the counting of votes, they must be verifiable. What does that mean? You must be sure that these votes have come from such a polling station. So the whole process of voting is not a question of just coming with the numbers. You must be sure that these numbers actually were voted in the polling stations. And what made us overturn the election was because there was no transparency. There were numbers, and we were being told, look, Uhuru Kenyatta has won. He has more than 1 million votes more than his nearest opponent. But you couldn't trace where these votes have come from, because the law required that there should be transmission, electronic transmission. There should be proper transmission to show that these are the votes which have come from various polling stations. And we were not satisfied with that. They didn't do that. So we set it aside. We just complied with the Constitution. The Constitution which required that the voting process, the election process, should be transparent and verifiable.
Okay. Now let's talk about the ballot revolution, where you're calling on millions of young people to register to vote.
Yes.
Where is the gap?
The gap is, last general election, about 10 million people didn't vote. You can say, they must have had their own reasons, and what we know, most of them just didn't find a candidate to vote for. Those who were there, didn't impress them, so they didn't go out to vote. But now we have very many young people who have come of age, who are over 18 and have not registered. And with what has happened in the last 1.5 years of the Gen Z revolution, or the Gen Z protests, we are urging them to vote. We estimate that the more than 5.8 million of them require to register. And we are telling them that for you to express your views, for you to have your issues taken into account, you need to vote. That's you are right. That's the weapon you have to remove the current government, so that you can get a government that will listen to you, instead of beating you up, shooting you, killing you, and kidnapping you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think our elections are free? Are often free and fair?
You can't say yes or no. There are areas where they are not carried out properly. In the past, we have had ballot stuffing, that you get people filling the ballots, voting without the voters themselves, without following the register. That is done in a few parts of the country, especially in the remote areas. And as a result of that, the voters' views are really not what is expressed. But there are other areas. You know, when you say free and fair election, I mean, it's a whole process.
Yeah.
Have you allowed the people to register? Have you allowed the people to vote as quickly as they can? You know, some go to polling stations, they queue for several hours and they give up and go away. So, and that's why the law now requires, and it has been there even in the past, requires that you must have not more than 700 registered voters in each polling station. The polling station is that room where you vote. And if you have that, and the IBC streamlines that, how long will it take for 700 people to vote? Hardly an hour or two. They will vote, and if they all came at the same time, and you're waiting for them to vote, it wouldn't take 2 hours. They will have cleared. But of course, people come at the different times. What we are saying is, if you organize them properly, have not more than 700 people in a polling station, it's just a walk-in, walk-out. Some will come very early in the morning, some will come at about midday, but all they will just come, and it won't take even 30 minutes to vote. That has facilitated them to do other things so that they don't waste the whole day.
Okay.
Yes.
As you're on your journey to and calling on Kenyans, so millions of young people to register as voters, how can you restore the confidence, a young person's confidence in the electoral system, for them to believe that, you know what, my vote actually counts?
Yes, thank you very much. I mean, to restore that confidence, as I've told you, is first of all to make the process seamless. And once they have voted, you have come out with a manifesto. You will have come out with a manifesto. You are saying, look, this is what I'm going to do for you. And you actually endeavor to carry out that manifesto. I mean, you will have known, I mean, we are going, right now we are going around the country, getting views from various people, what their challenges are, what their problems are, what they would want their government to do for them. And we are, of course, inputting that into our manifesto. You come to power. If we have come to Mombasa, we are talking about the blue economy. Yeah. That is the major economic activity that can be undertaken here. You are talking about the blue economy. We will have come up with a manifesto saying what we want to do. How do we want to assist the people of coast, the coastarians, to earn a living? You want to enable them to fish. I mean, we have a lot of activity that will go there. If you are talking about fishing, it's a value chain. A value chain. There are those who will fish. There are those who will clean. There are those who will prepare and sell. So you're getting, very many people involved in that value chain. The other thing which has not been exploited, for example, in the coast, Kenya has a long coastline. We don't have a shipbuilding industry. We don't have a shipbuilding. Some European countries with tiny coastlines, short coastlines, are doing marvelous. And it's not very difficult. It's a question of thinking seriously about it and invest.
Okay.
Mimi nitakurudisha pale kwa katiba. Katiba umesema utekelezaji wake uko hivi. Yani implementation yake iko chini. 15 years tuko kwenye katiba. Wewe ni binadamu wa sheria. Nikisema hivyo, you are a lawyer, umeshakuwa rais wa idara ya mahakama. Ni kitu gani ambacho kwamba utakifanya kuhakikisha kwamba hii katiba inatekelezwa vile inavyofaa, ili ifanye kazi ile ambayo kwamba kila Mkenya ataridhika, kwa sababu una ufahamu wa sheria?
Asante sana. Unajua, kwanza kabisa tusungumzie ufisadi.
Okay.
Katiba inatoa maelekezo ni akina nani wanatakikana kuwa mamlaka. na ukiwa kwa hiyo mamlaka unatakikana kufanya kazi yako kwa njia gani.
Yes.
Kwa uaminifu na ujue ya kwamba ukiona sura ya kwanza ya katiba inasema we the people, all authority comes from the people.
Yes.
Sasa vile tuna mambo inaendeshwa ni kama all authority comes from the leaders. Badala ya kutekeleza matakwa ya wananchi, wale ambao ni viongozi wanatekeleza matakwa yao
kwanza.
Sasa wanataka kutumia wananchi kutekeleza matakwa yao,
yes,
badala ya kutekeleza matakwa ya wananchi. Na hiyo ndio kitu moja ambao tunaangalia, ile ya kusema tunataka kurudishia Wakenya ile mamlaka yao ya kusema hapa tunataka hii na hii na hii ifanyike. Unajua katiba inasema tuwe na mazungumzo kabla ya kutekeleza kitu chochote.
Yes.
Public participation. Vitu ambao major projects ile kubwa inatakikana kufanywa, watu wanataka kuhusishwa. Na kuhusisha watu ni kuwaeleza tunataka kufanya jambo hili na hili na hili. Uwape muda wafikirie na uwapatie nafasi na pahali wanaweza kwenda watoe maoni yao.
Yes.
Na wakitoa hayo maoni yao yaangaliwe. Serikali inaangalia, nasema okay, watu ya hapa kitu wanazungumzia zaidi ukiangalia kama ni hapa Pwani, kitu wanazungumzia zaidi ni vile mambo ya kazi yanafanywa kwa tuseme kwa port.
Yes.
Ni nini kasoro iko wapi? Ujue kasoro iko hapa na utimishe. Hiyo ndio kusema ni kuchukua maoni ya wananchi into account.
Yes.
Yes. So hiyo tutatekeleza tuwajibikia tufanye vile wananchi wanataka.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're looking at, I want to look at politics and leadership. Okay. So our politics, Kenyan politics, is usually described as tribal and personality driven rather than issue based. How do you intend to change this culture?
Yes. Unajua watu we think about ethnic configuration.
Yeah.
You say I come from a big community, I have the numbers, so I'm going to do this and that. I happen to come from not a very big community. I am coming to the Kenyans, and if I'm elected, I will be very sure. It will be very clear in my mind that I have not been elected by the Kisis alone, for example. The Kisis will have voted for me like any other community. So I will consider the entire country as having brought me to power, and consider what their requirements are. And the constitution is very clear, in how to deal with the national issues. If it is a formation of government, the constitution wants us to take into account regional balance. Have you got people from every part of the country? First of all, it's of course merit. Then you consider and get people from all over the country, not from one region, and leave out. And that is the main problem. People feel like they are left out. Yeah. The government is not theirs. But if you follow the constitution, that's why I was telling you, if we follow the constitution, you will take care of the marginalized, you will take care of the disabled, you will take care of the youth, you will take care of the gender balance, and you have a government which is composed of people from various sectors, various groups, and they will be happy, they will feel represented.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think we can ever vote beyond tribal lines?
We are going to do that. We started actually in 2022.
Okay.
We started moving from the tribal based to issues. What are the issues? Right now, if you listen, the Kenyans are saying, look, this is not working for us. It doesn't matter who is there, who is in power. He is not, fulfilling the promises he gave. That concern us. Like now, if you listen to the Kenyans, SHA is not working. SHA doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say this is from this community, so is favored. No, you listen to the chaos in education. It is all over the country. The teachers who are going on strike, it is from the entire nation. So those are the issues that require to be addressed. When it comes to corruption is affecting everybody. So now the talk out here is we need to rectify these problems. We need to face these issues and deal with them so that the Kenyans can be happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had clashes with the executive before as a Chief Justice.
Yes.
I think you remember that. If you become the president, how would you balance respecting institutions while leading them? Because we see instances where, in as much as we go to the campaign trail and we say, I will do this, once you get to that position of the president, we see a disrespect of certain institutions that are supposed to be independent. How would you balance respecting institutions while leading them?
Yes. Thank you very much. One of the key issues I've raised that I will follow to the letter of the Constitution is to reset the country to constitutionalism. What does that mean? What that means is, let's go back. Where did the rain begin beating us? The Constitution is very clear on what should be done with regard to what. Education it has provided, health it has provided, welfare, respect for private property, all those are there. Socioeconomic rights are there. What I will do is to ensure and give very, very clear instructions to all the cabinet ministers, to all the officers working in government, that we are servants of the people. If we are servants of the people, we want to offer servant leadership. Now, coming to the institutions have been captured. You have people who are least qualified, manning some very key positions in some institutions. As a result, because they are not qualified, as a result, they are actually following a different agenda from that of the people. I will get the right people to man the right places. Then I will demand accountability. I will demand results. Coming to the judiciary is an arm of government. It makes decisions. The judiciary doesn't go out there to get cases themselves to decide. It is the people who take cases to court. And they are aggrieved. When they are aggrieved about a certain issue, they take the matter to court. Once the court has given a decision, and quite a number of cases are either against the government or by the government itself. The government is a huge litigant in the courts. Once a decision has been made against the government, if the government is not happy, I will give instructions to my people to appeal. You appeal. If you appeal to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court still says dismisses our plea, you raise up your hand and say, okay, this is what the courts have said. That is the law, and we have to comply with what the court has said. That's what is supposed to be. The government cannot require people to obey laws it does not itself obey.
Okay.
Yeah.
What lessons from your judiciary leadership are you carrying into politics?
Order, law and order. Law and order. It's you when you follow the law, when you follow what you keep to your lane, as it were.
Yeah.
You know the three arms of government. If you are in the executive, you are not supposed to like interfere with the work of the judiciary. You are not supposed to interfere with the work of parliament. I will respect those institutions. I will respect other arms of government, and know that the constitution has given power to all these institutions. I have said in many decisions I have made in the past that constitutional power is constrained power. What that means is that you keep to your lane. Don't interfere with other people. You know, we have the executive, we have the legislature, we have the judiciary, and we have independent commissions. All those have to be respected and facilitated so that they are able to perform. Like if you talk of the Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, we have a lot of corruption in the country. I want to deal with it. What do I need to do? I need to make sure that the Anti-Corruption Commission has enough funding. The Anti-Corruption Commission, if they require investigators, in fact, that's where you should have, the most intelligent investigators to deal with the crime, because these are complex matters, and you need people who can thoroughly investigate, so that when they come with the cases to court, they have evidence that is going to result in convictions, and as a result of that, you deter people from committing offenses. Yeah. So it's respected the mandates of those institutions and facilitated them to carry out their mandate.
We've talked about corruption. You've mentioned corruption as an issue. How would you hold to account leaders who are corrupt? How would you hold them to account? Because again, we're also seeing a space where there are a lot of graft cases, but then they go under. We see investigation from ESCC, and then the cases go under. How would you hold those leaders to account?
Yes, that's what I was saying. Get these institutions to carry out their work. Once the investigations have been done, you will make sure that there is no interference. There is no interference. There is no big fish and small fish. Everybody should be equal before the law. If somebody has committed an offense, if somebody has stolen government funds, in fact, those are the ones you should be really, really serious with, because an economic crime is a terrible crime. It affects it affects the whole country. So it's a question of ensuring that investigations are not interfered with. You must have heard of reports in the past where some people were saying, look, you're just going to court. This is a round you make rounds in court, there will be no conviction. And they are right when they are saying that. Why? Because they are messed with the investigations at the very beginning. The court cannot convict without evidence. That's the law. So the investigation is interfered with. The investigation is not carried out properly. As a result, they bring evidence to court that they know is not going to stand the test of the law. So that's why I said investigations must be thorough. Every institution must carry out its mandate thoroughly, and then you will have convictions.
Okay.
If you, for example, you find that the courts have dismissed cases, and the courts have done that, dismissed cases, and said, look, these were short investigations, you'll get hold of those people who investigated. Why did you do this? You knew that this is not taking you anywhere. This is a PRE exercise. You take action against him. The others will follow suit.
All right. I'm looking at youth and employment now, and unemployment and unemployment remain the biggest challenge for young people in Kenya, especially in the Coast region. What specific policies would you introduce to create jobs and opportunities for the youth?
Thank you very much. The youth, if you follow the youth protests, what the youth want, they are not asking for favors. My understanding of their protests, they are not asking for favors. First of all, they are asking for a level playground where they can all compete equally. Not because you are known by any godfathers or people from your community. Now, the youth require to be engaged. There are those who have gone to school and have done very well. Some of them are coming up with innovations. those innovations are I mean, one thing we are going to pay a lot of attention to. Make sure that any innovations they come up with, they are assisted, they are funded, to come out clearly with those innovations. I mean, the world is operating on technology. The world is operating on innovations. People have come up with innovation. So what we will do is to make sure that those who come up with creative ideas that can be turned into business, you protect them. We will protect them under the Intellectual Properties Act, and make sure that if there are new innovations, they are patented, and those who come up with those innovations are rewarded. They get loyalties. Now, there is a lot the youth can do, even in farming. They come up with new ideas, is to assist them. Those who want to go into business, SMEs, we will fund them and assist them, give them even a tax holiday, so that they come up. If there are tenders that the youths can do, there is no discrimination. If you say, look, this kind of tenders, let them be given to the youth. You are talking about a group of people, not necessarily from this community. You're saying this kind of tenders, give them to the young people, because that's something they can do, so that they are also involved in the economic activities of the country.
Okay. You have talked about innovation, and I will still go back to the fact that a lot of youths are in right now. People are in campuses, in colleges, right? And you graduate and there are no job opportunities. So unemployment is indeed an issue.
Yes.
And again, not everybody can be in a space of starting a business.
Yes.
What's the best way that Kenya, as a country, that we could actually solve this problem where youths are jobless because they're going to school, they're getting out of the schools, they're graduating, but then
there's no employment.
Yes, and it's true. The youths don't need handouts.
Exactly. What we have is a ravaged economy. The government has literally abandoned the business community. They are not supporting the business community, so that there can be large production, which in turn will create employment opportunities. I mean, you must have heard of quite a number of companies that have closed down in Kenya and have gone to other countries. You get a company which is having 1,000, 2,000 employees closing down. You know how many people are affected by that. Now, instead of having companies going to other countries, you want to attract them to come back. You want to attract foreign investment into your country. One of the major problems we have with the new investors is that those in authority demand shares before they can allow them to operate in the country. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And as a result, when those kind of demands are met, the foreign companies go elsewhere, where they can do their business. So that will be a thing of the past. If anything, government is supposed to go out to the business community and ask, what did you want us to do for you to thrive? When the business thrives, you not only get revenue by way of taxes, you also get employment for young people. So we will do everything we can to rebuild the economy, go to agriculture, go to industry, all sectors, so that the business thrives. One of the other things that has affected the business in this country is the government is heavy borrowing. The government has borrowed heavily from the local banks. As a result of that, the local banks are not keen to lend to SMEs because there are risks of recovery. What they would want is to go to government, because government is guaranteed returns without any hassle. As a result of that, interest rates have gone too high for SMEs to borrow. We will that's one area I will focus on and make sure that we reduce that drastically, so that the banks can go and lend to people. The interest rates will come down, and then the young people, those who are starting small businesses, can borrow and also survive in that. So there are quite a number of areas in the economy that we will look at that will boost the economy, that will revive the economy, so that there is money in the economy, and that will assist everyone.
All right. How will you then make sure that the youth are not just voting? I know right now we're seeking votes, right? How will you make sure that the youths are not just voting, but also represented in decision-making positions under your leadership?
Exactly. Thank you very much. The youth, we should have like a succession plan. Those of us who are getting old, you must understand that you are there for a very short time. So what are you trying to do? You must build the young people, so that when you exit, the country moves on. Besides that, there are some areas where the young people with the technology are better fast than the old fogies, as sometimes we call ourselves. They can use technology much better, and they are versatile. They are able to harness technology and do quite a number of things. So give them all they need is to be given an opportunity of leadership. What are we going to do? The problem in this country is those who are being elected to power are those who have money that they have dished handouts, money that they have corrupted their way into leadership. As a result of that, the young people don't get an opportunity at all. They have just come out of college. They don't have money. In fact, even if you said you want them to pay nomination fee of say 100,000 shillings, that's a huge problem in the first place. So what we are doing is we are actually advising the young people to go into leadership positions, and I'm happy that I'm working with a team of young people. Some of them are here outside, who are aspiring for various positions. Some as MCAs, and some as even parliamentary seats, and even Senate. They are aspiring, and we want to tell them that this time round, we want everybody to be considered. As you may have heard, and I'm sure that's one of the questions you have for me. I don't have money myself. I don't have the billions to run a presidential campaign. Yeah. I am going to ask the Kenyans to support me. In that support, if we can get as many young people also supported to run, it will be my greatest pleasure. And come now to government, that's where we want to give them opportunities. There are areas where the young people can do a lot better than the old people, especially where you require technology. So that's what we want. My government will have many young people in great positions, and so that they also feel part of the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mi nitazungumzia swala la uchaguzi. Alizungumzia election, ukasema kwamba ukabila kuanzia mwaka uchaguzi uliopita kwamba kidogo muonyesha dalili kwamba unafutika. Lakini katiba yenyewe kuhusiana na 50+1 ndio inafanya watu waje na miungano ya kwamba nikichukua upande huu na nikichukua upande huu nitakuwa nimepata 50, alafu hii moja nitaitoa pwani. Na ndio maana tunaona mirengo inakwenda kikabila. How are you going to work kuhakikisha kwamba una achieve hiyo 50+1 ili wafanyie hayo ambao kwamba umeyasema hawa Kenya ambao kwamba pengine watakuunga wewe mkono? Kwa sababu kwenye katiba vile ambavyo umesema ni katiba nzuri, iko hivyo, imepangwa hivyo, lazima 50+1. Na ndio maana kila tukifika kwenye uchaguzi Barisa, Miriam na Bilal wanaungana, wanakuja pamoja ili kuhakikisha wanaipatia 50+1. Na hapo ndio ukabila mahali unapoingilia. Yes.
Hakuna kasoro kwa hiyo.
Yes.
Rais atakikani kuchaguliwa na sehemu moja ya nchi. Kama kukuwa na hiyo 50+1, unaweza pata kama iko wale candidates wengi, unaweza pata rais yule ambaye ana kura nyingi, ile kura nyingi zote zimetoka pale moja. Unaona? Ndio sababu katiba inasema 50+1, kuhakikisha ya kwamba huyu rais ambaye amechaguliwa sio mtu amechaguliwa kutoka kwa sehemu moja. Kwa hivyo hiyo kwanza, hiyo tukubaliane hivyo. Kitu kingine ya kuangalia ni kwamba ukabila uwezi kupata 50+1 from one community. Lazima upate kila pahali. Ndio sababu inasema 50+1. That means you will have to get win in at least more than 24 counties.
Yes.
In the country. So that you are a representative. Yes. Kwa hivyo hilo ulisema ati ukabila huko, wakati huo kama sasa mimi kama ninasema, nilikwambia ninatoka community ambao sio wengi.
Yes.
Sio wengi.
Yeah.
Kupata hiyo 50+1 ni kusema nimechaguliwa na Wakenya wengi.
Yes.
Yes, so I am a president ambao amechaguliwa na Wakenya wengi. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now, I want to take you to now the economy and the cost of living in the country. And our economy right now, as it's under strain. One would say there's high cost of living, there's a huge debt burden, and there are limited opportunities now for ordinary citizens, right? What is your economic recovery plan?
Economic recovery plan
is
to look literally at every sector of the economy.
Okay.
Agriculture. There's a lot we can do. We can use technology in various agricultural activities. Even dairy farming. We can use technology. We can use a lot of modern ways of farming. Zero grazing. There are quite a number of farmers who have hardly an acre, and they have 100 dairy cattle. What are they doing? Zero grazing. They are able to buy feeds from various places and bring and then they are able to have a lot of milk. So those are among the things that we are going to do. One of the other things which has affected the farmers in this country is the inputs, the cost of input, fertilizer. The government has said it is subsidizing fertilizer. You know what happened in the last financial year? The government literally sold sand to farmers in the form of fertilizer. That kind of theft, that kind of fraud on the Kenyan people, those are among the things we will ensure don't happen. Facilitate the farmers so that they can produce, and once it has produced, the government now takes over, finds a way of taking over the produce, or encourage the private sector to take over the produce and distribute to the rest of the country. So the young people can be involved in all this, and if you work it properly, you will get that, like agriculture, the mainstay of the country. You will have very many people being employed. One of the things we have not done is value addition. we produce whatever we produce and throw it into the market. If it is milk, it is hardly properly processed so that the farmer gets value for his money. Those are the kind of things, value addition. You don't produce avocado and send it the way it has come from the farm to the world market. You process it as other countries are doing, so that you get a good return for the people. So those are among the things we are going to do. Those in manufacturing, their main complaint is the cost of power. The cost of power. It is too high, and it is driving them out of business. We will look at the independent power supplying contracts, and see what can be done so that the cost of power is reduced for industries to be able to operate. I mean, those are among the things the government should do to facilitate the business community to do their work.
Okay.
They are monopolies. They are monopolies in some of the businesses, and as a result, they are driving out quite a number of business the business communities. You get a level playing ground. Avoid those monopolies so that you have very many people involved in the business community.
All right.
I mean, business activities.
I'm taking you back to the debt burden, because right now I'm looking at our public debt to GDP ratio is approximately 67.4%. That is as of December 2024, and this is above the IMF's recommended 50% threshold for developing countries. What would you do to reduce the debt burden in Kenya?
The borrowing. The borrowing is what most of the borrowing that we have is odious debt. What is odious debt? Odious debt is borrowing money. Literally, all government borrowing should be linked to projects. Particularly the foreign. We had the Eurobond. There are cases in court. I don't want to go into that because those cases are in court. That money was borrowed and it didn't go to any project. You can say it has gone to this project. So what we are going to do is to ensure that we are not going to borrow. We are not going to borrow to spend. We are going to borrow to do projects that are going to spur economic activities in the country, and reduce borrowing as much as possible. Right now, as you said, it has gone to 70. You can't develop. A country cannot develop with that. If you are having 70% of the GDP going to service loans, what are you going to use to even pay the current expenditure and carry out the development? One of the things I will look at is how we can restructure. We will do audit of the public debt and see how we can restructure that, reduce borrowing as much as possible, and restructure what we have so that the repayment doesn't take all the money. You are left with some money to inject into the various sectors of the economy.
All right. We are speaking to Chief Justice Emeritus David Mararga, and of course right now our lines are open. If you have any question for us, 0700917917. Patrick, good morning. Patrick, I see you there. Patrick anasema salimia mheshimiwa na umwambie tunamsikiza kwa makini. Umepokea mheshimiwa.
Yes, mheshimiwa.
Patrick, somebody, our listener is saying hi to you. Yes, anasema salimia mheshimiwa na mwambie tunamsikiza kwa makini sana.
Asante sana.
Aya. Alafu, Brian is saying, hi, Swahili Pot FM. I'm listening in from Nyali. Good morning, my dear. So my question is, what will he do different from this regime and how? Because if he gets the seat and most of the systems are crumbling, how will he recover it? Yeah.
What we will do differently from what the current regime is doing is, first of all, we will reduce wastage. There's a lot of wastage in government.
Yeah.
You mean we were shown is it the control of budget?
Yes.
Was telling us the other day that quite a number of county governments are spending a lot of money on foreign travel,
Yes.
which has hardly any value. Those are among the things we will take care of. Government expenditure, a lot of wastage is there in government expenditure. Once we reduce that, we will have money that can be redirected to other resources. You have seen, I mentioned earlier, you're giving people empowerment, and the kind of empowerment you're telling you are giving people is 10,000 shillings. What can you do with 10,000 shillings? You're just going to spend it. Is that empowerment? Empowerment is supposed to uplift your life. If you're being given what you are going to spend on groceries for a day or for a week, that's not empowerment. Yes, that money should be redirected to projects that can benefit the whole country. So we are going to do quite a number. As I've said, once we get everybody complying with the law, complying with the law is ensuring that those who break the law are prosecuted, and that will be a deterrent. Those who steal are prosecuted. Those who are involved in corruption are prosecuted, and that will be a deterrent. And that will in short, there will be public goodwill to fight corruption.
Okay.
Which has not been there before.
All right.
And it will change.
Okay. I have another question here from a listener. That's Aching. Good morning. She says, why do graft cases take too long or just disappear altogether? If you are the president's friend, you are untouchable. How will he ensure that changes?
I have said it already.
Yeah.
As president, I'm going to be the first one to comply with the law.
Yeah.
If there are prosecutions of those cases, I will work with the judiciary to ensure that those cases are fast-tracked. I have said that the starting point is thorough investigations being carried out, so that when they bring the cases to court, they have evidence that is going to lead to conviction. And once you have that evidence, you now work with the judiciary, find a way of fast tracking. The judiciary can set an anti-corruption court aside, give it that mandate only, and those cases are even heard on a day-to-day basis and cleared as quickly as possible. Yeah.
All right. Now let's look at integrity, justice, and governance. You are. We've talked about corruption a lot. As someone who once called out Parliament for failing to follow the Constitution on gender laws, how will you push for inclusivity of women and marginalized groups?
Thank you. Women are Kenyans.
Yeah.
Kenyans, educated and very, very competent. In most cases, what is happening is that they are not given an opportunity to also contribute to the national development, and that's why the Constitution is very, very specific in Article 27 that not more than 2/3 should be in any institution should have more than 2/3 of one gender. In fact, it should even say more than 50% of one gender. What I will do is to ensure that as many women as possible come into government. The aim would be to have 50-50. And then we will have development. Women have unique leadership qualities which men don't have. Men have unique leadership qualities which women don't have. When you have a blend of the two, you spur development. and that is extremely important.
All right then.
The way women look at some issues is different from the way men look at them, and especially if you are talking about socio-economic activities, give everybody an opportunity to contribute, so that you don't have one person like a know-it-all. You have everybody on board, and we move on.
Okay. We have a caller on the line. Our number is 0700917917. If you do have a question for us, that is the way to contact us. You can send us a WhatsApp voice note or WhatsApp message. I see them coming. But right now, let's speak to a caller. I'm going to need you to put on your headphones.
Oh. Sorry.
All right. Solipot FM, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Who are we speaking to today?
You are speaking to Dr. Isigi
Yes.
from Limuru.
All right, Dr. Isige, we have former Chief Justice on the line. Say hi and ask your question.
Yes. Good morning, Honorable Chief Justice Mararga.
Good morning, Mr. Isige, Dr. Isige.
Yes, I'm glad that I have the opportunity to express myself on various matters.
Okay.
And I believe that these matters can be resolved amicably. Yes. The first question that I would like you to address concerns the strikes that have been persistent in Kenya. We've had teacher strike, now we had lecturer strike. As a potential presidential candidate, God willing, how are you going to ensure that these issues are resolved so that we don't have our innocent students suffering when they are denied the opportunity to access education and also to go through the education system and complete at the time that they are required?
Thank you very much.
And the other question concerns the implementation of Vision 2030, which is a very promising development strategy for our country. How are you going to ensure that it is implemented without having any kind of delays occasioned by change of administration, especially at the executive level? Then the third question, and the last one, is how are you going to put in place measures to ensure that we have equality across various groups? That is the women, the men, and even the young people, women, elders, and the young people. Because currently we've witnessed women facing a lot of brutality, femicide, because it seems there is conflict between men per se and women with regard to women empowerment. We are seeing that women are being empowered to a certain point where men feel that their position as very instrumental members of the society is being threatened. So they resort or they revert to femicide. Those are the questions that I had for now, and I would like you to respond to them. Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Dr. Isige. You've talked about the strikes, the Dawn's strikes.
Yes.
We have their CPAs that were negotiated by government. Government should have planned to implement those CPAs so that you don't have this kind of strikes coming up. Once you have negotiated with the employees, it's a contract. Respect your side, and let the teachers also do their side. And by failure to do that, by failure to plan to implement the CPA, you cause the teachers to go on strike. And what that does mean? What does that mean? It means children are out of classes, students are out of lecture halls, and once you lose, even if I mean, when you look at the kind of curriculum they run, you lose even a week, you have lost a lot, and that has affected them. So what I will do myself is, once you negotiate a CPA, you have an obligation. You plan to ensure that you fulfill your part, you perform your part of the bargain, so that you don't have strikes. You talked about Vision 2030. This is a progressive process. Sometimes you find that this government has started this project. When another government comes into power, it wants to put aside those projects that had been started, and besides the wastage, there is no that progressive development that is there, and that is very, very common in county governments. You get a governor who had started some projects. A new governor comes in, he doesn't want to know about those projects. He doesn't even want to pay the bills that have been incurred in that project. And as a process, it is completely. It is so disruptive that you don't have. Are you hearing?
Hi, Dr. Isige.
The network was off.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to drop your call so that he may answer your questions, okay?
Okay.
All right. So you're talking about Vision 2030?
Yes. Vision 2030, as I was saying, this is a progressive kind of development. What the government the government should do is not to come up with new developments and ignore the ones which are already currently underway. It is to carry them on and then carry them to another stage. That is the way it should be done. And as I was saying before we lost Dr. Isige, we have seen that in very many county governments. A new governor comes in, he wants to start new projects. Why? You know that he wants to get his cut from the new projects. Perhaps the outgoing governor had already gotten his cut. So some of those projects which were started are left as white elephants, and that's a lot of wastage. Those are the kind of wastage we are going to make sure that we stop. Projects which have been started and well founded, let them be carried on to their logical conclusion, so that people, you don't lose. So development, has got to be progressive, and it has to follow the laid down procedures, so that you don't have white elephants and waste money. The last question he asked was on
equality.
On equality.
Yeah.
Particularly femicide.
Yes.
We have had these challenges. Initially, we had affirmative action for the girl child. Somewhere in the process, we lost it and forgot the boy child, and that has created its own problems. So we need to see where we lost it, so that the boy child is not left behind as it's appearing. Yeah. The other thing is quite a number of issues come when you talk about femicides. There are a lot of social problems that are coming up. Get to know, investigate, and get the really cause of this of these problems and address it. Sometimes it is failed relationships, and the men take advantage of that, literally, brutally, and they kill women. those cases must be investigated thoroughly so that appropriate action is taken, which will be a deterrent.
Okay.
We can't have, broken relations leading to death because of that.
All right.
Yeah.
We have another caller on the line. We're taking on one more call, and then we'll go back to the messages. I see your WhatsApp messages. So let's take on this caller. Good morning.
Hello, morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. My name is Pascal. I'm calling from Bamburi.
Yes, Pascal. What question do you have?
Hello, Mr. Mararga.
Yes.
My first question is about the historical injustices, especially here in Costa. How will your leadership address historical injustices, historical injustices, and promote national unity in a deeply divided society?
Yes. Thank you very much,
my
Pascal. The historical injustices in coasts are well documented. We have the Ndungu report. We have the is it F? What do we call it? TJRC report. That has documented those injustices. All we need to do is to implement those reports, address those issues, so that the Coastarians don't feel like they are discriminated. If we are talking about implementation of the Constitution so that everybody gets his right, the coastal people need to have those reports implemented, and the injustice is done, and the compensation is done so that they are also onboarded.
All right, Pascal. What's your next question?
My next question will go about the education sector.
Yes.
What's your plan to reform the education system to ensure students graduate with the skills that match the job market?
Thank you very much. That goes to the education system, the curriculum, which has been revised quite a lot. The challenge we have is that we have reports that have come up with how we should reform our education system. The problem is putting those reports into proper effect. When we moved from 844 to CBC, what the Kenyans expected was preparation for that. We just went into it without any preparation at all. There are no facilities, there are no classes, there are no necessary facilities to carry out that. Now it has changed from CPC to CBE. Those kind of changes, when you just move from one system to another without preparation on how you are going to carry that out, is what is the problem. The problem is really not the system. These changes are intended to get skills that match the demands of the country. The problem is how we implement them. Without we should have a thorough plan, budget for the facilities, so that when you come up with an education system, it is one you are going to carry out seamlessly. What we are doing at the moment is we are losing very, very many young people because they don't get trained, and as a result we are losing a lot and messing up the country. Those are among the things I will address before we make any change. We get prepared for it. Get prepared. If it is any training that is required for teachers to undertake, they undertake that so that they understand what they are supposed to carry out. We saw it from State House. The teachers were saying, look, we are not prepared for this. And it's true, they are not prepared.
All right. Thank you so much, Pascal, for calling. And you know what? We said we were going to end this at 9:30. I would like to respect that. Lastly, Mr. Mararga, why should a young person in Mombasa struggling with unemployment or high food prices believe that David Mararga is the solution in 2027?
Yes. As I said, we want to carry along with us the young people. We want to look at the projects that the young people can be involved in. If it is SMEs, for those who can go into businesses, we assist them to start and move on. And as I said, we deal with the issue of credit so that they can get, small loans to carry on their businesses. If it is those who are going to seek employment, we level the ground. You get employment not because you know Mararga. You get employment because you are qualified for that. You compete with the others competitively and move on.
Okay.
Those with innovations, we want to inject funding for the young people to realize those innovations.
All right.
Yeah.
In one sentence, what is the vision that defines your candidacy for Kenya's future? In one sentence, what is the vision that defines your candidacy for Kenya's future?
In one sentence is, we want to order the country back to, we reset the country back to order.
Yeah.
Reset the country back to order, and from there you will look at very, very many issues. You look at Utu, you will look at education, you will look at health, you will look at all aspects. Is resetting the country back to order.
All right. Thank you so much for making time today.
Yes.
What's your parting shot?
My parting shot is to Kenyans. Trust me, I'm not going to steal from you. I will fight corruption. You look at my record. I have not taken any bribes. I will not take them at this age. Literally at the end of my life. Trust me, I will take care of your resources. I will get a government that works for you, a system that works for everyone, and that looks at all parts of the country and be equitable, so that nobody is left behind.
All right. Thank you so much, man. We've been talking to Justice Mararga. Thank you for your time and for sharing your vision with us. That was Justice David Mararga, former Chief Justice and now presidential aspirant for 2027. What do you think about his plans? Share your views with us on 0700917917 or on our social media at soilepotfm.co.ke. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.